the one that got away, the game that could have put the Astros in first place in the AL West, well, with the tiebreaker, with the Rangers off and the Mariners losing. But you know what? Let's not take advantage of that situation. Let's give one up to the Red Sox. We're going to talk about this. So many other things that happen in the Astros world today. Going forward, can they lock this series up and move on to Detroit? Let's talk about it on today's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at on this lovely night?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Positive, I hate the Ghost Runner. Positive, I hate extra innings. Always Stros.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brett. It's not like the Astros are 1-8 in extra innings. That's something they need to fix if they want to have a chance to win in the playoffs, if they even make the playoffs. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you check out your podcast, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and go and become an everydayer, somebody that listens to our podcast every day. And I know that there's a lot of smack talk going on Twitter. And if you want to become part of Smack Talk, go ahead and download the Bunches app today. And when you do, our friends at Bunches have featured the Locked On MLB Bunch in the Discover tab. And you can also click the link in the description, show notes, to join the Locked On MLB Bunch community today. So talk with baseball fans across the league, and it's a great app, so go check it out. So in today's game, the Astros did lose it, extra innings. There was a chance at the end. We were all like, oh yeah, I was trying to reverse jinx it by posting up the YouTube early, but it didn't work. The Astros celebrated Jose Altuve getting his 2000th hit. Jose Abreu, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but he returned back to the lineup, and Alvarez sat up another day. We'll talk about why. Was that a dirty play by Mr. Walm there? I think so. And is Cristian Javier getting skipped in his in the next starts? And a little Michael Brantley update. Hopefully we'll have at some point during the show. So that's what some of the topics on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Yeah, so look, let's just get into it. You know, the game started out in the Astros' favor up. You know, they were they basically come into this game and they give you, I mean, you basically give yourself a chance to win. In the second inning, who other than Martin Maldonado gets up and hits a home run that has to be reviewed. But look, it's his 10th home run of the year. He's double-digit home runs. And the Astros, they were up 3-2. Then you thought, okay, they're going to pull away a little bit. They're up 4-2, and Boston comes back 4-3. And it was just one of those nights where they couldn't get away. And wouldn't you know, they get to the 10th inning and they absolutely just crushed the hearts of the Astros. Kendall Graveman did not look good tonight. Kendall Graveman, I'm not convinced that he's the Kendall Graveman that we originally traded for the first time around. He hasn't been spectacular. You know, this game is just a lot of missed opportunities. 5 for 13 with runners scoring position, 11 left on base, and you just didn't take advantage of the opportunities you had. You had a 3 for 5 Diaz, you had a 2 for 4 McCormick, 2 for 4 Peña, but at the end he didn't look to be swinging very well. And it's just one of those games where it's really frustrating because you score 5 runs, you get 12 hits. You should have had probably 10 runs. You should have had at least 8 or 9 runs in this game, right, and you win this game. This is not a game you should lose. The Red Sox are terrible defensively. Chris Sale started out slow and then, like, out of nowhere was pitching like he's never been hit before. And you just hated to see the way this game changed real quick in the Red Sox favor. and the zeros from 6 through 9 innings, nobody was scoring anything. The Red Sox were getting hits, but they weren't scoring any runs. So I guess the bullpen kind of did their job until the end. But I don't know. It's just one of those games where it's kind of deflating as an Astros nation. They had the team meeting. They won 2 in a row. Let's just go sweep the Red Sox. You had a golden opportunity to take kind of sole possession of first place because you had the tiebreaker. So technically, you'd be in first. The Mariners lost today to the White Sox, an embarrassing loss for them. And you had a chance to really move forward with that, and you didn't. So hopefully tomorrow they can win, and hopefully the Rangers and the Mariners can lose, and then things can kind of be ordered more properly where the Astros are on top, because they need every bit of help they can get. From here on out, the Astros don't only need to win, Eric. The other teams, we need them to lose.
Yeah, I do think that the walk hurt Graveman, and I think that Graveman, like a lot of the bullpen, has been used a lot recently, and they definitely need Phil Maton back. And I know that he threw a bullpen today, and he was throwing 88 miles per hour. And while that might not sound like a lot, but he said that's exactly where he wants to be. I think he's going to do a 1-game rehab appearance, maybe on Friday or Saturday, and then he should be back at some point. But the Astros bullpen has been overused a lot this year. And so you used Neris, you used Abreu, you used Presley, and then Graveman is your other guy. Stanek has been used a lot recently. So I think that this was just a situation where that walk really hurt him. And then you have the ghost runner at second base. And I instantly sarcastically put it up on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. And I'm like, oh, you go ahead and set up for a double play. Let's see how that plays out for you, Cotton. That whole thing from dodgeball. But it's just,
right.
You never want to walk somebody in extra innings, because it always comes back to bite you in the butt. And then that home run after, it just the dude fouled the ball off of his ankle and then crushes a home run. Who the heck does that?
Well, here's the deal. On the same pitch, I think he was looking for the same pitch. I was actually listening to the radio broadcast as I was setting up, because I don't really I have a feed, but it's not too reliable in my office. And so I was listening to Sparky and Ford, and he said, look, he went back with the same pitch. And Adam Duvall squared the ball up like he knew it was coming. 3 games, he has 3 home runs. He has a home run in every game.
Right.
And so, look, baseball is going to baseball. Things are going to happen. But this is one of those games that you have to win. You can't blame this game, though, on lineup construction. You can't blame this game on Dusty. This game came down to performance. This game came down to Alex Bregman popping the ball up. We'll talk about the Connor Wong thing. I don't think it was a dirty play. I know people in Connor Wong's circle, he's not that kind of player. Some people say it's a good baseball move. That's what catchers are taught to do. They're taught to clear out the home plate. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you absolutely have got to get more. I mean, Tucker did not look good tonight. Tucker had an off game. He's not going to be on every game. I think Alvarez being out of the lineup kind of affects that a little bit, affects his approach, maybe his mentality, because when Alvarez is in there, he seems like he's bulletproof. Tucker, for me, has allowed a bad game every once in a while. With the guys at the plate, they should have just done more, and that's the bottom line. I know a lot of y'all are freaking out tonight and saying we're not going to make the playoffs. I think that's I'm just going to say nonsensical. I don't see there's any way that this team doesn't make the playoffs. They make the playoffs regardless because of who's behind them, not necessarily who's in front of them, and they keep pace. Remember, the Rangers and the Mariners beat each other up the last 7 out of the last 10 games of the season. That will help us out a lot. If we can at least get in front and get up by 2 or 3 games, that's going to help us out tremendously.
All right. So, and don't forget that as much as Astros fans are panicking, just imagine what it is to be a Rangers fan right now. Remember how Marcus Semien was kind of talking all that trash to Martin Maldonado and everything. And you've had this, like, the Rangers fans, the Rangers themselves have been like, oh, we got this division. They have been playing some very bad baseball, and the Astros and the Mariners are coming. The Astros lost 1 game. If they win tomorrow's game, they're going to win 3 out of 4 in the series. You want them to win series. And so if they take 3 out of 4 versus a very good Red Sox teams, I'll take it. Yes, this was a very winnable game, but unfortunately, the Astros just don't do well in the extra innings for some reason. We'll talk a little bit more about Abreu. I saw a little bit different at bats for Abreu today. Yeah, he only had that one hit, but I saw some better contacts and better swings. And Alvarez was sat out again. We'll talk about that a little bit. But this episode is brought to you by Bunches.
That's right. Bunches is a social media where you can talk about sports with your fans in real time. A bunch is a group chat with sports fans. Bunches is partnering with Locked On MLB to help drive viewership and fan love for each podcast, driving enthusiastic communication from and with fans. We want you to communicate with us, and we want you to talk to us and the other fans about it. This is what you can look for: question and answers with us from you guys, the listeners. You can submit a take of the day. You can hop on a bunch in a chat and you can talk with us. You can talk smack with others. It is really, really cool. The Bunches app is free, where you get your sports fan chat. Locked in MLB group chat is on Bunches. Go there right now and connect with other baseball fans. Tell a personal story. Just whatever you want to do. Download the Bunches app today, and when you do, our friends at Bunches will have the featured Locked On MLB bunch in the Discover tab. You can click on that and go to whatever show you want to follow. You can follow us at Locked On Astros today. So the Astros played the Red Sox Thursday at 1:10 p.m. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Now, if you play that back and listen to what I just said, that quote I just talked about, the Astros playing Thursday, will make sense if you listen to it on Friday, because I said they played the Astros on Thursday. So my apologies. If you're in the future and you hear this Friday, there you go. Maybe you watched the Astros
early game
on Thursday. Well, no, I'm just saying I use the word played instead of plays. It's just one of those nights, man. This is why baseball is not for the faint at heart. This is why they call baseball a thinking man's game, because it's not about one game. It's not about happens with one at bat. It's about what you do after, how you collect yourself. I still trust this team. This team is still veteran, unlike any other in the postseason. That's where I rest my loyalties, and my trust is what they ultimately produce in the playoffs. Yeah.
So I think the key to every freaking Astros game is do not go into extra innings. Have the either be winning or losing by the 9th inning, because the Astros just struggle with that ghost runner. They just can't. They don't have the put away pitchers, because by the time you get to that point, Presley has already been used, and you just don't have that back end of the bullpen that most teams have. So you had Montero you could put in there. No. And Stanek was, I think, unavailable in this game. So
both of them were.
Yeah. So somebody who was available for today's game was Jose Abreu. He returned to the lineup. I know that I think Dana Brown said that he could return at before the end of this homestand. We assumed that meant maybe Thursday, but he returned back to the lineup. And Dusty Baker basically said, well, with Alvarez out, we needed some more offense, and we need his defense out there, and we just needed him back on here. And he said he's looked better in batting practice than he has in a couple of months. The time off helped him, helped his movement, helped his flexibility, which helps your bat speed. They said we'll probably still have to watch him. He may be on an every other day type of program, at least initially. And David Hensley, sorry to say, I forgot that he was even on the team, but he was optioned down to AAA.
Why you gonna do Hensley like that, man?
David Hensley, but he has not seen the field.
ALDS,
I guess he has.
ALDS hero, Eric. He's an ALDS hero. He's a playoff legend in Astros history. You can't be that dismissive of David. Yeah, Henny boy Hensley. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know. So yeah, basically with Alvarez out, they said we needed some more offense. So what I saw, especially in that first at bat, his bat speed seems to be there. He drove a ball to right field, and luckily the right fielder was positioned in the right spot, but he was getting some good swings. He played some great defense. He fell down and threw from his rear end and got the out there. So he's actually looking like he may still be a little bit tight in his back from the pain, but I think that maybe the time off to reflect, to kind of everything, I think will pay off.
Here is something that's a little concerning for me that we really haven't talked about a lot, and something that I was wondering tonight when Maldonado hit his home run. Okay. When I look at Maldonado's stats, he has 10 home runs. He has the same amount of home runs as one Jeremy Peña.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Peña hit 1 home run in July. 1. What has happened to this kid's power? Where is his bat? What is he doing that he is not squaring up the ball and making solid contact? He started hitting more for average, singles and doubles and things like that, but he stopped hitting the long ball. To me, that's concerning. It's almost like Thor has lost his hammer, or someone has he's Superman, and his bat is kryptonite. Like, that to me is concerning, because Jeremy Peña, when he got hot last year, he was hitting for power as well. And I think that's the only way his bat is a real threat in this lineup. We don't need singles and doubles. Why? Because we leave runners in scoring position. We need the long ball. Now, we did move up into 9th place, and we're 6th place overall in the American League, 9th place in the entire league in home runs for our team. But when you have as many home runs as Maldonado, something is going on, and I don't know why I don't know if he's opening up too much. I don't know if it's his plant foot. I don't know what he's doing wrong, but he's lost his power, and that concerns me. That really does concern me.
One thing that I do want to point out about Jeremy Peña is that he struggled a lot this year, but in August, before today's game, he has had a 300 batting average. So he has improved a little bit, but I loved how they put the stat up on the screen. And as soon as they did that, he grounded into a double play almost immediately. But he has been improving on things. And so I think Jeremy Peña.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. He's been hitting. A 300 average is great, but he's not hitting home runs. He's not getting RBIs. Like, honestly, we don't need hits right now. We don't need average. I need long balls. I need long sacrificed outs. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't need a double. I don't need a single. I don't need even a triple. I need you to hit the ball out of the freaking park and pull the ball to left field. Go to the Crawford boxes. You're a right-handed batter. Take advantage of that short porch, and he's not doing that. He needs to focus on his power, because it's just not there. And I love Jeremy Peña as our shortstop. I think he's really, really good. I think he's above average. He's proven he's a Gold Glove. He's an ALCS and World Series MVP. You can't deny his accolades. But this year, he has not been the Jeremy Peña that we've needed him to be overall. And that was my
thoughts by Dusty.
Oops, sorry.
Thanks, Eric.
I didn't mean to do that.
That was, but that's why I said the average is great, but at the same time,
right?
What are you doing for me lately? And you're not really producing many runs for us.
Right. All right. Now,
thoughts by Dusty.
All right. So on Michael Brantley, Dusty Baker said, "We will make a determination after he DHs today." On Alvarez, he's doing a lot better. He's in there working out. Where, first of all, but hopefully tomorrow he'll be back. If not, the next day. If not the next day. If not the next day. So at some point, Alvarez will be back.
He didn't say the next day 3 times.
No, he did not.
Not the next day. No. Eric, thoughts by Dusty and amended by Eric. All right.
Yes. But here is the pure thoughts by Dusty, and this is the one that's going to drive a lot of conversation in a second. This is on Yainer Diaz. Everybody wants him to play every day, but it's tough. It's much like a young quarterback. How many young quarterbacks come in and take over right away? The way we've handled it, the way I've handled it, he'll thank me. The city will thank me. And the organization will thank me later. So, guys, everybody, get out a sheet of paper. Write a thank you note to Dusty Baker and say thank you for not playing Yainer Diaz as a
Here
Slider.
it is. But you know what the people are really thinking when they hear that? The last time I saw an NFL quarterback play in the MLB was never, unless your name is Russell Wilson. But I digress. Look, I heard that comparison, and you want to talk about a cringeworthy quote you shared last night to Dusty. I think that's about the cringiest it's gotten. Comparing him to a young quarterback, a quarterback that has to deal with a game speed, like the game speed change from college football to pro football is so amazingly different. It's not even like that. I don't know. Like I heard that and I'm like, look, just say it. Okay. And he said to Matt Thomas today, I can't tell you what I tell him. I can only tell him, and I can't tell the people, because he asked him, why don't you play him at catcher more? Why don't you play him at first base more? And Dusty's like, I can't tell you that. I'm like, why? Like, what is the secret? And there are people that are now openly saying, I wonder if inside the clubhouse there are Maldi camps and Diaz camps. I don't know that they're splintered like that, but at some point, we've got to quit talking about the future, because now is now. We're trying to win now. We're not trying to win with Maldi in 2024 or with Diaz in 2024. We're trying to win now. And Diaz gives you the best opportunity to win. Right. Period. End of story. That's why he should be in there. Like you said, Eric, take the training wheels off. We need a shirt. That do you remember in Forrest Gump, whenever Forrest Gump just starts running, so his kids are picking on him and he's got those braces on his legs and the braces fly off?
Right.
We need like a shirt that shows like Diaz running with like training wheels flying off of him. And look, don't sleep on Yainer Diaz, because he is the catcher of the future. But let me tell you about Sleeper. Sleeper is a great app. It is a great fantasy app, and I want you to go to it today. Check it out, because they have live payouts and they pay out quick. It's really neat. It's basically fantasy sports and real money app, like right there at your fingertips. It is one of the fastest and most organically growing apps out there. You can win 100 times payouts, the highest payouts in the DFS market. You can place in-game contests, more stat categories than ever before: home runs, triples, stolen bases. Dynamic payouts are live. What are they? They basically give you a projection and a multiplier, and you pick several players in several different situations, and you just click away, and then you see how the returns come in. It's safe and fast withdrawals. It is currently operational in over 30 states. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to swing for the fences on Sleeper Picks, and you could win up to 100 times your money. Use the promo code Locked On, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Predict the hottest baseball stats like home runs and so much more. Just go to Sleeper and download the app and use the promo code Locked On. And make sure that if you are going to go to Hooters to watch baseball, you need to tell them that the Locked On Astros guys sent you. When you go into Hooters, whether you're in Humble, Baytown, Pasadena, Sugarland, Pearland, Humble, Katy, Galveston, tell them I listen to Locked On Astros. In Pearland, you will get free fried pickles. In Baytown, you will get free fried pickles. And in NASA, you will get free fried pickles just for mentioning Locked On Astros. So go tell them that we sent you. That's right, Joe. You too. And why would you not want to go to Hooters? Because they have the world famous Hooters girls. They've got brews always on tap, 2 to 7 or 7 to 10 happy hour, and then to close. And the NASA store starting September 7th has a karaoke night, which Eric will be there probably every Thursday. I don't know every Thursday, but he may be there more often than not. After Thursday Night Football, they got karaoke and happy hour till closing. So go check out your local area Hooters and tell them the Locked On Astros guys sent you for some free fried pickles. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy. And the Astros do play the Red Sox Thursday at 1:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Businessman Special. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right. So I know Corey Julks was kind of up in that situation before we get back to the whole Diaz situation. But unfortunately, Corey Julks, he was going through that little phase where he was hitting line drive after line drive and right to players. And then he just went in that big slump, 1 for 40 or 41. I don't know what it was now. But I think that if Michael Brantley is returning, I think that Corey Julks is likely going to be the one going down. He was up for basically Greg Kessinger anyway. So I think that if Michael Brantley is set to return, he did play tonight. Michael Brantley, he did have a single. He did walk twice in the game. He was a DH. So from what we can tell, everything looks great. So I'm only 6'1", but thank you. So somebody said I look like I'm 6'5". My son is quite the beast, though.
Look, you got this too. Someone said you're 6 foot 10 inches tall.
Oh, okay.
Guess my height, and you might win something tonight. But I'm not as tall.
Were
as
you trying to say your weight?
I almost said my weight. Don't guess my weight, bro. Don't be doing me like that. I might have to quit.
So anyway, but going back to the Diaz situation, I get what Baker's trying to say here.
No, I do. I'm making a little light of it. I do.
Yeah. So I just think that Diaz, I think the pitchers just really love throwing to Martin Maldonado. And until you don't have Dusty Baker there and you don't have Martin Maldonado there, Diaz is not going to get the fair shake. And he definitely is a better hitter if he's playing position, whether that's first base or whether that's catcher. And I saw another podcast today talking about the fact that maybe he's the future first baseman. Like maybe to save his legs, if he's really going to be this great offensive player, why don't you go ahead and make him a first baseman, DH, so you can kind of save his legs so he doesn't wear down later in his career. So I think that I forgot what podcast it was, but definitely something to consider down the road. But I think for now, he has the makings of a great catcher. According to the Astros, Dusty Baker, the pitchers, he's got some things to work on. So that like a rookie quarterback does. So I get what he's saying, but if it's a win or go home in the playoffs, who are you going to have as the starting catcher? That's what Dusty Baker needs to answer him. If it's Martin Maldonado, okay.
The easy answer is it's going to be Maldonado unless he's hurting, unless that pitcher says, I definitely want. Now, what if it's JP France that's in the winner go home game? You're probably going to want to go with Diaz, or what if it's Hunter Brown? Look, at the end of the day, these are things that I know that are going to be a little frustrating for Astros fans. And I guarantee every move Dusty makes this year in the playoffs is going to be scrutinized. It doesn't take away from the fact that in 2022, he ran an absolute masterclass and deployed his bullpen masterfully. He did a great job, and I've always recognized that. I just think Dusty's problem, Eric, a lot of times is his messaging, is his wording. I still think sometimes he tries to say too much. Right. And in his trying to explain, he over-explains, and then it sounds like he's making excuses. I don't necessarily think he's intentionally making excuses. And also, I don't think Dusty cares what we think. I genuinely don't. I don't think he goes home and goes, I'm wondering if they liked my comments today. Like he could care less what we think. And I think there's a lot of people out there that really think that Dusty listens to them. Sorry, guys. He didn't listen to us. And I kind of make light of it. That it just happens to be this coincidence that we talk about things and things happen the next day. The Astros aren't taking direction from us. They don't pay us six figures, but it's fun to talk about. I just think Diaz, it's crazy how good he is. I mean, at the plate, he's getting better and better. And I can't wait until he is taking that full-time catcher role on. You know, he threw the runner out towards the end of the game. Kid's got a cannon. So Dusty may be holding him back, dude. I'll be real honest. And when he leaves, we may see just what he could have really, really been his rookie year. Because had he played a full season or a majority of the season, he could have been rookie of the year candidate easily.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say in a second we do need to talk about Juan, the catching situation. But on Friday it's gonna be Framber Valdez. Saturday it's gonna be Hunter Brown. Sunday it's gonna be Justin Verlander. One name that you did not hear in that is Cristian Javier. I don't know if that means that he's going to get his start skipped, or did they push him back a couple of days? Who knows what the situation is there. But I think that maybe they go ahead and skip a start and just maybe put him in bullpen for maybe one rotation or so and just kind of give him time to recuperate. Because, he did pitch 5 innings, but I don't know. It seems to work with some of the other guys.
He pitched about 7 or 8 innings worth of pitches the way he was so inefficient.
Right.
Dude, skip him. Shoot,
Right.
I'd send him to AAA. Just do something. Fix his butt. Because we need playoff Javier. We need nails Javier. We need multi no-hitter, pitcher no-hit Javier. But we haven't gotten that this year.
It could also be the fact that Hunter Brown, hometown pitching in Detroit, and also Justin Verlander going back to pitch in Detroit. So that could be also a factor in why Cristian Javier is not pitching. So, but that's just something I was thinking about. And I know that a lot of people want us to talk about Connor Juan. I think that's his name. I don't think it was a dirty play, but I think what that was a tactic to basically get the the runners interference or batters interference, whatever that is. So basically he looked up, he saw the ball was up there, but he acted like he was going, like he needed to go for it, and just steamrolled through Alex Bregman.
Yeah, I don't know that. I wouldn't call it a steamroll. I played catcher growing up. He didn't necessarily steamroll them.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but I don't know that it was super malicious. Like, I don't think he was trying to hurt Alex Bregman. I think it was foolish in that he wasn't looking to catch the ball, right? He didn't look up to catch the ball. I think he was trying to draw a penalty, kind of like in basketball, like a flop. But I wouldn't say steamrolled him. Now, the reason why Bregman reacted the way he did is because he didn't expect that. But typically a batter hits the ball and runs to first base. So catchers are taught when the ball goes up, you go around home plate. Yeah, he did run into him on purpose. I replayed some of the footage on Twitter, and a lot of people said, hey, it's a nothing burger. It's not a big deal. Maybe it's drama. We like the drama. But I think at the end of the day that it was intentional. I don't think it was intentional to hurt him.
No,
I think
not to hurt him, but to get the out.
Draw. Yeah, to get that out. And then the
pitcher was like, boom, he was like
Superman. The best part of that play was that was an amazing
Whitlock,
like how do you throw a 96 mile an hour, pitch, and then you have to run like 16 miles an hour.
He's like that T-ball kid that is at the pitcher's mound, and he ends up in outfield and catches the ball after it's hit. So so that was a good play there. But I think that it was to get the interference. Oh, I didn't see that he was in front of me. I thought he ran. So I'm sure that was strategic there. So, but as long as nobody's hurt, I guess it's okay. But it just was a crap Bush League. I've seen that kind of thrown around a little bit. I think it was just not. It's I think the Bush League term's a little much. I disagree with you on that, but that's okay.
I mean, that's fine. I don't think it was that big of a deal, to be honest with you. Bregman wasn't hurt. He was just trying to draw the attention of the umpire, because I don't think he thought the ball was going to get caught. If you get batters interference, you get an easy out there. So look, man, Brantley update. He got a hit tonight, right?
Yeah, so and 2 walks.
Yeah. So hopefully Brantley, it would have been nice to have Brantley on the bench to come and pinch hit in that situation. That sure would have been nice, but we didn't. And
look up the matchup for tomorrow's game. And while I do this, I know it's JP France, but I don't know who's going for the Red Sox. While I'm giving some positive news, this is from Brian McTaggart. The 2022 Astros were 106-56. The 2023 Astros are 72-56. So in order to get the same amount of wins, you've got to basically win a lot of games. The rest of
you have to win the rest of your games, dude.
Yes.
So they have Brian Bello going tomorrow. Brian Bello, sorry, he's 9-7.
Yeah, that's right.
3.70 ERA, 100 strikeouts. He's a good young right-hander out of the Dominican. So look, this kid in the last 7 games is 3-2 with the 5.03 ERA. He has given up 22 earned runs and 46 hits in those last 7 games. So he is susceptible to give up a lot of earned runs. The Astros need to absolutely take advantage of it. Win the series. They don't need to split this series.
Yeah, go for it. Because
get this, the Rangers are actually playing the Twins, and the Twins are trying to stay on top of the Central. So the Twins are motivated. So Carlos Correa. So, yeah, the Comedy Central is what some people call it. But Carlos Correa, we need you. Old Houston guy, you need to, take one for our team, and you need to do us a solid and get a sweep. Look, it's been a great show. Win, lose, or anything else, we're here for you. We're here to let you know that all 5'10" of me and all 6'1" of Eric, we're going to do what we can to bring the pain every time to make sure the Astros stay on top. So thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. Thank you for making us your first listen every single day. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. He is Eric the Man Huysman, and we are your only daily Astros podcast.
Go Stros. Let's get a win tomorrow.
Let's win the series.
Martin Maldonado, your catcher. Hit a home run today.
No more football comparisons. No more.